Let me tell you about our local, the pub, around the corner. There's a right performer whose stories make your belly shake with laughter. There's a group of blokes always there after their shifts, blowing off steam before heading back home. There's a team of mums who gather seeking guidance, rest and snacks, and a ghost who drifts back and forth between draft nursing guests. You can almost hear the sound of ancient rebels in the air. There's a party going on, a wedding no less. They met at the end of the bar on a Wednesday, the groom played pool and they were all in within a mere matter of months. There's a stage where that band you love played before they were famous. They packed out the room, bringing the noise, raising the roof, and if you want proof everyone's welcome in the city, here it is. Celebrations are their thing, think Eid, Pride and Diwali. You'll find good people doing good deeds for good folk, a beacon of hope in the kind of place that's seen trouble. They care about the people who get left behind. It's where the neighbourhood legend celebrated his 95th year and you won't hear a bad word said against him. There's a corner where you can sink one last drink before boarding and you're first when the tide sweeps you back in. They'll serve up a roast with the crispiest spuds and you'll leave with more gravy than blood in your veins. There's a match going on. The saints on the screen, the crowd singing loud as they come marching in. Let me tell you about our local, the pub, just round the bend. It's the best pub in Southampton. Let's go there now, my friend.
Pub cultures came from our consultation for our UK City of Culture bid, and it became very clear that the role of the pub was really, really important in communities and we should celebrate it. And so we consulted with landlords, we consulted with customers and communities, and we decided that pub cultures where an artist would come in, talk to everyone involved in the pub and then create something really, really special was a fantastic way of showing how important pubs are in our communities and in our culture.
I love getting artists into unusual spaces. The idea of a co-creation project, bringing artists and pub landlords, pub communities together was really exciting, and always the opportunity to create a little bit of magic with the unknown ahead of you and what those conversations might reveal. And the remit was really to get a really broad reach and representation across the city, not just the city centre.
Communities were desperate for their own place and where they live, where they go out, for that to be celebrated as well.
I think our geography is sort of 12 miles from east to west. So again, looking at pubs in all the different wards in Southampton.
I think it's really important to have all communities engaged in culture, regardless of where they are. From my work with Southampton Forward and the City of Culture bid, I realised that the word culture is just, it's so diverse. It's it covers everything. It's not just art and spoken word or books or videos. It covers everyone in the community, regardless of, it touches everyone's life. So I think it's important that we highlight the pub culture and so people could see what goes on inside those four walls.
We thought it would be a great idea to bring everyone together into a big melting pot of conversation around this idea of co-creation. So what would pubs want? How would artists want to work? What's the common ground? So we brought everyone together in January, first week in January, and we almost did like a speed dating model where the pubs sat very solid on their chairs and the artists sort of migrated around to meet each pub and just tell them a little bit about their work, what their approach was in terms of that co-creation process, what their own interests were, and also what the pubs really wanted to get out of the project.
It was a really exciting project involving the community, which is a big thing. The pub's a big community pub, so that's why we wanted to get involved. They absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's been really, really, really good.
I just thought it was a really right up my street because all my work's really accessible, and I kind of believe that art should be sort of, seen by everyone, and so I think the pub's working with a pub is the ideal place for people to see art and appreciate art. It was like to work is a real collaboration between like all the customers in the pub, the staff, but also working as a team. It was really nice how people sort of gave me ideas, and also working with students. There was Ella and also Matt Grove who worked with me nearly every day on the project, but also other artists came up, other graffiti and street artists came up and sort of helped out every now and then, and it was just a real community feel, and rather than it being really sort of official, if that makes sense. It was a really fun project to do, and I think that's reflected in the artwork.
It's really nice being able to do things in Ballston and Sholing and things, because there's not much art around Ballston or Sholing. It's getting better, but it just brings colour to the world and it makes everything happier.
Really proud to be involved in it and to be part of a community.
Pubs are a centre of a lot of communities. And so when people will come to the pubs either on their own or as part with friends, with family, they'll be able to experience some art, which I think is great.
My great-grandfather was a pub landlord, so I wanted to create something for a pub and get my work in a real pub, because I've made a fake pub before about him, but it's nice to put it into a real pub and actually engage with the community that's living here and breathing here, rather than reflecting just solely on the memory of my granddad. To be an artist and kind of insert myself into a pub and try and get them to do a creative project might be quite difficult, because most people come to the pub to have a drink and hang out and chat with friends. So I thought the best way to engage them would be to latch onto something that they already are here for already. So that's why I chose to work with the quiz. I made some beer mats. I worked with the pub and we put an extra bonus round into a pub quiz. The bonus round was to get people to pick an object in the pub. There's loads of objects around the pub. So we picked an object and they wrote a story about it. And people wrote essays for me, which blew me away with their creativity and their interest. And I mean, it was probably the extra points that really got them to write.
Yeah, so we essentially thought we'd use our pub quiz, which always has a really healthy turnout of regular customers, as a bit of a platform to get them to tell us a few stories and make up a bit of a fun sort of backing for the beer mats. It gives them a bit of an insight into why they've come to the pub, makes them think about who they've come with and what communities around them in the pub.
I really want someone who can take an interest and to show the people around the culture and the history of the pub behind. So yeah, and learn lots of things with them to work together and share out my ideas and found some interesting ideas. So we got together all the ideas and they have done really good job with the pub.
So I made these little silver articulated knights and invited people to either just completely freestyle or using some of the stories that they have from the pub to decorate these. So this one has a shield that somebody made that has one of the whiskey jugs on it from the amazing collection of whiskey water jugs downstairs. So this was really just a sort of a mechanism, I suppose, for getting to talk to people and inviting people into a conversation and trying to make it a bit fun and sort of light-hearted so that we could then talk about what people's modern day history with the pub is. And there was lots and lots of engagement with people's long sort of personal histories with the pub. And then from that, talking stories. I heard a lot about the 21 or 23 ghosts that live in this pub that various people have shown me photos of. And I was thinking about the heraldry that's in here already and thinking about we should have a new pennant for 2025 for the Knights of the Red Lion. And so that's what I came up with, yeah.
I'm very amazed. I never thought that the artwork is going to be like this. In my mind, it was just maybe some floral picture with some drinks and some people, but it's very, very inclusive and very beautiful, very thoughtful. It's such a rich community here. Pubs are not just places to drink. They give employment, their employees here, and it's such a social place. You do networking, you can do any sort of meetings here. So for me, Southampton is a great place to live and work.
It's a nice surprise. You came to us and offered to do a mural on our pub wall, which was great. I mean, it's free advertising, it's something nice. It's a colourful splash on a grey pub, you know, it's quite interesting, and it shows all the sort of hints at the aspects of what to expect when you come into the Platform Tavern. Well, we had a workshop, and there was myself, a few other staff, and even a couple of customers who sat there one day, and you had different topics, and we had to draw a picture of basically items in the pub or favourite drinks, or just, you know, things about the pub that we all liked. And you laid them all out, and there was about 6 different topics, and we all chose which one we liked to go into the mural, and that's how it came about. And then Tom sent us 3 different designs, and we all had a chance to pick out the one we liked, and we all chose the same one.
I learned that I'm not great at heights. I think what I've learned is probably the fact that when you really put yourself out there and talk to people and communicate with the community and stuff, you get the feedback, and it makes the process a lot easier. I think that is what I've learned most. It's exciting. Doing stuff like this is exciting, and I want to see more of it, want to be involved in more of it, and I think by doing this it will happen more and more. And like I say, lots of people are really appreciating it, so I feel like that's the way forward.
I like the colours, I like the structure of it, the composition. Like, it says a lot.
The pub itself is very musical, and I think the fact that I've got him playing acoustic guitar, it's very solo. He's on his own, it's very simplistic but powerful.
Yeah, so obviously it helps obviously promote Southampton, and it's, you know, it's changing what used to be a very old kind of Jack Daniels sign that was, I don't know, I'd imagine probably about 20 or 30 years old, and to make it look nicer and cleaner, and it's just promoting Southampton, especially as people come off the cruise ships. It's probably one of the first things they see coming off, so, you know, it definitely helps Southampton's image. It helps us as well with a nice new piece of art on our walls.
The artwork's really exciting. It's so nice to see something unique and sort of personalised for the space, the location where it is. I think it's perfect for the Platform Tavern and everything I know and everything I've learned about the pub.
When I first came here, I walked in with a friend, I'll be honest. I walked in with a friend who was working here, but she had a day off and they had live music, so I said, I'll come, I'll have a look. And when I walked in, we sat at the bar over there, and I said to her, I like this bar. She went, I knew you would. And I said, I could run this, Stu. She went, oh, shut up. That was day one. That would have been 1988.
I normally interview people before I photograph them. So I found it was like a really nice way of coming together with a different community within Southampton and finding out their stories and the stories of the pub and the stories of Dawn as well, and how this has been like a community hub for a lot of different people within Lordshill.
So everybody's invested in each other. It's nice, it's nice.
Using medium format, which I do, I normally shoot outside, natural light, and with this, it's quite a dark pub, so it's like learning that skill as well within the project.
But yeah, it's been well received really, the people like it. It's nice, it's thoughtful.
the writing's lovely behind it, you know, people have warmed to that.
So I took over 18 years ago, and it was sort of a bit at its sort of last legs. We did a lot of work to it. We sort of redecorated, built a lot of things like in the garden we've done, and just developed the business. And we concentrated on food, where before it was a very wet-led pub, and just sort of got more of a community feel to it, and got more of the locals in and homely, and got the log fires on, and just try and develop that sort of community feel to the pub.
I think it's kind of important to play a part in the culture of an area, and this is what spurred me on to kind of really start this project, because it's a perfect opportunity to reach audiences that might not be necessarily, or they might not know they are into art, or, you know.
And it's just a really exciting opportunity for the pub, so I think we're really excited about it and wanted to get involved. And then as the staff, we all did a workshop to put our ideas in, and it's been great, really.
So I would say about 90% of it is recycled material. I did a call just to kind of see if local people could contribute and donate kind of wooden objects that I could include in a piece. So there's obviously a lot of planks. There was an old piece of furniture, obviously a chimney as well, you know, chimney surrounds, photographs, frames. I mean, there's all sorts really, and my challenge really was to kind of come up with a design that could kind of like include all those kind of objects.
We all drew some pictures and we all wrote some keywords about how we felt about the pub and about the sort of history around it. And because there's so many people that work here, it was all like so many ideas coming together to make this beautiful piece.
And anything to encourage people to come into the pub and bring other people in is just fantastic.
So our community is incredibly strong. So the venue's been here, I think we're on our 57th year, so since 1968. I mean, even this morning we were getting a delivery in and into the basement, and the delivery driver was saying, "Oh, I used to rehearse with my band down here in the 70s." It's a really, really special space for loads of people. I think that kind of atmosphere is very potent when there's a show on. Music in general is about taking part, it's about community.
I'm very passionate about getting art and making art more accessible for people. And so to sort of have the chance, especially a venue that I've worked very closely with before, both on the music side of things and art, to be able to like contribute to the place and like sort of leave a mark on it, as it were, to establish sort of the community and allow more conversations. I think, you know, you'd have to be a fool not to want to jump at that, because it's just, there's nothing to lose from it really.
It's really amazing, and I think it really captures the aesthetic of the venue and the alternative element, because the Joiners is a venue that we're not trying to be a blank canvas or, you know, like postmodernist or kind of too cool. It's about sharing in the history and the community, and there's all sorts of different aesthetics here.
We're a community-based pub in Millbrook. We strive really to bring the community together and do as much charity work as we can. And I'm very proud of my pub. Initially, the pub is really sort of like based on the Saints theme, because we're a Saints-themed pub. And I just thought it would be really nice to have a piece of artwork that people can come in and it would generate conversation. Get a bit of diversity into the pub to maybe try and educate some of our patrons on art and diversity. And it is special for me to do something for my community, because I feel like they give us so much, and it's not just about them coming in and putting money in the till. It's about what they've done throughout their lives and with veterans in the VE Day, and that past. And I just think it will be a new focal point for people to talk about, and that's what I want in our pub. I want people to come together, different ages, and sit and talk.
Pretty much a family-based place because everyone knows everyone, even though we've got two different sides. And even though they sit that side, everyone, different sits this side, they still all know each other, still all work with each other. And it's just a community place where everyone gets the work from each other, meets here, and it's just a lovely place to be. It just sounded like a really good project, and it's nice to get pubs back boosted because they've taken a side seat for years now, so it's nice that someone's doing something to get pubs back going.
We set 2 specific dates with Stu, the landlord, where we would come in and talk to the locals. And it was a bit notepad in hand, walking up to people. Sorry, I hope you don't mind us disturbing your lovely pint. Do you mind talking about this pub? And some people said okay, and some people said, oh, no, I'm not sure about that. But some people were really, really warm and loving and gave us their time. You could see the community and the fun and the friendship which has built up over the years, and we kind of said, tell us what you will, and sat there with notepads noting down every good word we heard, and a few of the sad ones, yeah, and that's kind of the poetry side of it. We went away and turned the stories we collected here into, I think, 22 poems. But then the visual story's got its complete different story.
Very much so, yeah. Well, it was very much a blank canvas, if you pardon the pun, until we started actually speaking to the locals and getting all these little stories and little ideas of things that happened over the years, and just the general sense of community within the pub itself. And I thought I want to try and get a visual image of that inside the pub.
You actually called me on the way back from our first meeting, didn't you?
The inspiration just clicked.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I think part of it ties in delightfully because it's the hop in. So
there's a pun in there as well. Yeah. It was very much, I was very much spoiled for choice.
Southampton is, I can say proudly, is one of the diverse and amazing city for different communities. And if we are talking more about the project like pub culture, it's giving a more information and community come together. And it's like not always think about you're going for a drink. It's about you're coming here with the family, friends, and enjoy the moment. And Southampton is definitely, with a lot of amazing pub we have here.
A gorgeous white rabbit was found, boldly making bounds on the perimeter of the Hop-In's grounds. But why was it here? Perhaps it wanted a pint of cider, perhaps it wanted to sit by the fire, perhaps it wanted to dance on the bar like a leaping superstar. Perhaps it fancied itself a daring hare with ears and wit debonair. Perhaps it was looking for its wagtail friends, sharing nights that never end. Perhaps this roaming, charming bunny wanted to laugh a banter funny, refresh, decompress with rabbit pals, and joyfully joke over a few ales. Perhaps he wanted the spirits never leaving and to have the finest of all evenings in a pub where the atmosphere's never dropping. Perhaps he wanted to hop in.